What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of TECSpertZ. My name is Nick Green, the News and Sports Director with WZMB.
My name's Caleb Johnson, sports reporter for the East Carolinian.
And I'm Cannon Gates, the station manager for WZMB.
And boy, do we have a fun one for you. Let's go ahead and jump right on into this one as the Pirates took care of business. 31-27 over Memphis at home. Rushed the field. Phenomenal game. Tarps off for that game. It was absolutely phenomenal. Caden Hauser, 332 yards, touchdown. London Montgomery, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gentlemen, overall fun game, but what were your overall thoughts on this game?
Yeah.
I got it?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we couldn't have asked for anything more. I mean, we knew this game was going to be close. We knew Memphis was a good team. We knew it was going to come down to the wire, and it absolutely did. Just a hell of a win by the Pirates. I'm just dumbfounded. Last week I said that this game in specifically defines whether we have a good or a great season, and now we have a chance to go and have a great season with 2 subpar opponents, and we're going to be hoping for some losses. But there's not much I can say. I mean, great game offensively. Defense stepped up and made plays when we needed it. Yeah, I mean, go Pirates.
Caleb couldn't have really said it any better. I mean, he said subpar. I don't fully agree.
Yeah.
I think UTSA.
We'll get into this one.
Yeah, we will get into it later, but UTSA is good at home. I'll just say that. And they beat Tulane, a few weeks ago. Okay, but anyways, for this game in general, I mean, I thought they applied pressure when they needed to after the Caton fumble, which I personally think that a lot of quarterbacks are fumbling that ball. That's just really bad. You get hit from both sides as a quarterback who's not used to taking a hit like that, like a running back would. But he bounced right back. He came right back out there, delivered a game-winning drive, and couldn't really ask for anything more. Brendan Lewis is a dog. After he got that rushing touchdown, he was literally limping through the end zone. But we were able to contain him enough for us to win that game. The defense played well. Offense played even better than I would have thought. And Dowdy was electric. Gotta love to see it.
Yeah, guys, I tell you what, this was a phenomenal game for the Pirates. I mean, this is we've been asking for a complete game out of the boys. We got a complete game and then some out of the boys. This was exactly what you wanted. Shout out to the fans in Dowdy Ficklen Stadium for making that place absolutely rocking. Hashtag tarps off if you know, you know. Nick Green was part of that crew. I'm not going to lie, very much a part of that. But, yeah, it was just the energy in Dowdy Ficklen Stadium was electric all night long. And you could tell the fans really made a difference in that game, too. I mean, you could sense the energy in the whole stadium change, and you could feel the momentum swing from Memphis towards East Carolina kind of after all the energy started going around the stadium. It was just an absolutely wonderful place to be. Then ending it off with a field star, which we'll get into that. A lot of people are going to be a little questioning why we did that. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but I want to get into some more specifics here. Offensively, like I said, 332 yards for Caden Hauser, 27 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns for London Montgomery. Firing on all cylinders offensively. What do you guys think made the offense work so well on Saturday?
Well, I think especially it's been like this last few weeks. The play calling has just really gotten better and better as the years went on. You've seen it really probably since the start of the Temple game to now. The play calling has just been very, very good by JDB, and I love seeing that. And then Caton's really just stepped it up, has played better and better. I mean, over 300 yards against a team that was top 25 at one point this year. And a great win. Yeah, he's right. Last week, and that's a good defense, good team he's playing as a whole. But yeah, I mean, the offense just clicked. London Montgomery really got the carry. He did get the carries. Marlon Gunn only had 5 carries. Engelman, I think, had 1. But Montgomery really took ownership of that backfield, as we've been kind of waiting for him to do this whole year, and he finally did it. I mean, it wasn't anything flashy, only a 3.8 yards per carry, but did what needed to get done. The touchdown run was awesome. But yeah, I mean, the offense just clicked. O-line played well. Yeah, I mean, Yannick Smith going down with injury, that is tough. I hope it's not for long. I hope he's back playing on Saturday. But the other guy stepped up, and obviously we'll talk about it a little bit more, but the Peyton Mangrum touchdown. The guy stepped up when he needed to. Brock Spalding obviously had a great game, probably the best receiver game out of any of the receivers. And he's done that a couple times this year. And
best catch we'll see all year.
Yeah, exactly. And he was able to split out wide, and we'll talk about that as well, but the refs were terrible in this game, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can really say it much better than that, but I think it was just interesting to see us actually give London Montgomery the carries and see what he can do with that. That was really impressive to me. I thought how we adapted after Yannick Smith got hurt. with the tight ends and with Brock Spalding, just the usage of those guys was very impressive to me that we were able to rally back after losing such a high caliber guy. Caton, obviously great game. Yeah, there's not much more to say on that.
One more thing I will say is that Zero Ross only had 3 catches in this game, but I feel like it's in every game too. Every time he has a catch, it just feels like a big catch. I feel like, especially the last few games, I feel like I look at the box score and expect Riles to have 5, 6 catches. He only has 3, but it feels like every catch he makes is just a big time play. He does it in clutch scenarios. He does it when it's you really need a first down, or he just makes a tough grab. He made it 3 of those catches. About 2 of those were tough grabs. But yeah, I just want to shout him out real quick.
No, I completely agree, guys. I mean, Caton Hauser, I would argue this is one of his best games he's played all year long, especially with the opponent we played. I think this is phenomenal performance by Caton Hauser. But overall, I mean, I talked about it last week. I mean, complimentary football is going to be the key to beating Memphis. And we played some phenomenal complimentary football. And even with the questionable officiating, and I'll say it's very questionable, because, I mean, going into, I don't remember at what point, but they kept showing on the video board no penalties from Memphis until a very long period into the game. I don't remember at what point they finally got their first penalty. But it was a very long time before they finally got a penalty, even though they definitely should have on quite a few uncalled pass interference plays.
O-line was holding the whole game, too.
O-line was holding the whole game. I mean, Brock Spalding got tackled twice before the ball even got there, and no call was made on that. But yet we do it one time, and the flag's immediately on the field.
Yeah, Lowry was
immediately,
and that was amazing defense,
I was
too.
Immediately on the field the second we even try something like that. So Coach Harrell went out to the hash marks on that one to talk to the ref. Love the energy that Coach Harrell brought into this game. But yeah, it really was great. I mean, even the depth of the receivers. 8 different guys caught a pass in this game. You don't. That's just unheard of. I mean, obviously, with I'm blanking. The injury. Yannick Smith. Yeah. Yeah, so especially with Yannick Smith going down, I mean, obviously you're going to have some guys step up. But in order for to see 8 different guys touch the ball, make some great catches in the game. Peyton Mangrum especially. I mean, we're going to talk about that one for a while, but Peyton Mangrum making that key catch when it is. The fact that we're calling a play for Peyton Mangrum in that scenario, that just goes to show how much the coaches trust him to make that play. They trust Caton Hauser to deliver a back shoulder ball like that. And it's just a beautiful play all around. I mean, it's something you don't see out of an average football squad. This is what you see out of the good and great football teams out there. And so I think that's another thing that's going to separate us. Another reason why we saw the field get stormed on Saturday is because, we have now escalated the tiers from good to great, which is what we like to see. Gentlemen, defensively, obviously I've got some players written down here, but what do you guys think went well defensively? I mean, holding Memphis to 27 points, the one turnover we got was the Mike Wright interception at the end of the game. Shout out Mike Wright, by the way. That dude literally does everything. I mean, gotta love that guy. But, the one turnover they had was at the very end of the game. But defensively, it was still a pretty sound game overall. What did you guys think about the defense and how they played on Saturday?
Yeah, go. You already have the mic. Let's go.
No, you go.
Okay. The 2 guys I'll talk. 2 guys I think everyone will shout out is Zion Wilson and Jamari Riddle. They both had phenomenal games.
Those are the 2 I wrote down.
Zion Wilson's senior day, obviously, it's 2 sacks. Was a walk-on 5 years ago. Really just glad to see him make that type of progress he's made. But the defense as a whole played well. I mean, there's not as much guys besides them 2 to really shout out, I don't think. But especially battling through what they had to battle through with the penalties and all that, the defensive line was getting held the entire game. And just making tackles when they needed to. Because when you look at Brendan Lewis's stat line, he completed 32 passes but only 209 yards. That is just making guys, because he was trying to dink and dunk us down the field. That's just guys making tackles and stepping up when they need to. You like the Dankas and the Wilsons and the Tegan Wilkes, the Aiden Duncansons who played over 30 snaps. The corners played well. I mean, really everyone played well. I mean, Riddle and Wilson, it's 2 guys I feel like you're going to talk about. And then all comes down to Mike Wright picking that ball off. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a great job of keeping pressure, keeping pressure on Memphis defensively. When you're playing an injured quarterback, you want to get to the quarterback, flush him out of the pocket, make him make quick decisions. I think they did a good job of that. like Cannon said, Zion Wilson and Jamarly Riddle are the two big names we're going to talk about. But I just want to talk about Sam Danko for a minute because he has just been consistently good all season long, and he did it again Saturday night. So that was great to see. And then that the turnover on downs that they forced in the fourth quarter was probably one of the most impressive things and unexpected things that I've ever seen out of an ECU defense, even though I've not been watching this team for too long. But usually when we're in those spots, we fold. And it was nice to see us not fold there. Just found a way to get it done. We're all happy. Let's do it again next week.
100% would love to see that. But, you're right. Zion Wilson, Jamarly Riddle are the two everybody's going to talk about. I think those two had by far the most standout day out of anybody else defensively for the Pirates. Jordy Lowry's another one who I want to bring up. He had a great day on Saturday. Overall, I just think defensively, I also just want to shout out the run defense. Obviously, he had the one big run that obviously was a big, long touchdown. That was a little brutal. But outside of that, the run defense played pretty well on Saturday, and it's really helped contain them, especially with an injured quarterback playing the game. You got to make them one-dimensional, and I think they did a pretty solid job at doing that in the game on Saturday.
The one long touchdown run, too. That's how you can tell our guys don't give up. Nobody stopped until he crossed the goal line. Jordy Lowry was right there. And you brought up Jordy Lowry, also want to mention, because Rashid Reason, who was a great guy the first 2 weeks of the year, first got injured and has still been out for the last few games, but Lowry has really stepped up in a big role. So you mentioned that. So.
100%. And so I really do. This is really what it comes down to when guys believing in each other and knowing that, like, hey, we want to win this game and we're going to go do it. And so it's what makes this team special. And really, this has been an awesome past few weeks. This is what, fourth in a row for the Pirates now. This has just really made this really special and really fun for the Pirates right now. As we are still tied for first in the American Conference. It's a four-way tie. We will get into this later on in the podcast. I promise we'll talk about more like scenarios of how we get to the American Championship. We have a lot to talk about in this episode, so I do want to move on to women's basketball here right now, and we'll come back to football at the very end here. But women's basketball, they beat Charleston Southern 91-62. Taylor Barner had herself a day with 32 points in that game, but then lost to High Point 84-68. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the women's basketball team and how it stands right now?
Well, honestly, I'll talk more about the High Point game because, Taylor Barner, it was a Taylor Barner show.
It was.
Against Charleston Southern, 32 points. We beat them by about that much. And then High Point, after the first quarter, we really didn't play bad. The first quarter margin was 24-8 High Point. Then we even outscored them in the third quarter. They really just couldn't get back into it. Not a terrible game, but, definitely not their best. And, I don't think they're going to be a bad team by any means. I think also High Point was projected, I think it was 50-50, but I think all of us knew kind of after watching the first few games it was going to be tough for the Pirates to win that one. And obviously it was, but 84-68, I don't think the ladies are that bad. I think they have a solid year, so.
Yeah, Charleston Southern, we all expected them to get that game, get a W in that game. I think it was just kind of disappointing against High Point. There was little to no bench production, which is kind of odd, especially for the minutes played coming off the bench. And they also killed them on the boards and pretty much got nothing back. A lot of turnovers, a little bit of efficiency issues, kind of the same old song and dance with this team. I just hope they can turn it around and get ready for conference play.
Yeah, 100%. The women's basketball team right now, it's not like this is crazy, I'm super impressed with them right now, but I'm also not super disappointed in them either. High Point, I'm not super surprised we lost this game. I'm a little surprised at the margin of how we lost, but like Cannon kind of said, with a 24-8 margin in the first quarter, it's hard to come back from that. And, if we played the first quarter like we played all the rest of the three, it would have been a much closer game. But we just started off really bad against High Point. And, it's tough to come back from that. But Charleston Southern, it was great. You brought up the lack of bench points against High Point. The bench points was there against Charleston Southern. It was great to see. I remember one of my takeaways from the Charleston Southern game was, we've got depth on this team. This is great to see. Outside the starting five, you've got somebody like Taylor Barner who can come in and drop 32 points. But, because Taylor Barner did not start that game. She came in off the bench and put 32 points up, and it was great to see. But, at the same time, the same production that I was rejoicing against Charleston Southern didn't show up against High Point. So, obviously, it's still early in the season. We're going to have to find the consistency there. But, that's something Kim McNeil's going to have to work through. I trust Kim McNeil to be able to do that, but that's something we're going to have to work through as the season goes on. Gentlemen, is there any other takeaways we want to talk about with women's basketball before we move on to men's basketball?
Nope.
All right, so women's basketball, the last thing I'll say about them, their next game is versus Old Dominion on a Friday at 11 a.m., so that should be a fun one to see what goes on there. Men's basketball, they beat Elizabeth City in a nail-biter, 71-70. D2 school, not exactly what you wanted to see there. Gentlemen, that's the only game that's happened with men's basketball in the past week, so let's just talk about that one. 71-70, ugly win. A win's a win, but it was an ugly one. What were your takeaways from that one?
Holy cow. Obviously, Jordan Riley doesn't play. Coming off the news of Trayvon LeBeau's out for the year with a season-ending surgery. But it's a D2 school. I mean, it's really bad. 20 turnovers against a D2 school. I think finally in the second half they realized what they should be doing. They shot 16 threes in the first half and made 3. The second half they only shot 4. I think they maybe were realizing what they should be doing. It is not to shoot the ball, and I completely agree. They should not be doing that. Big Gio was really the only saving grace in that game. Tybo Bailey had a solid game scoring the ball wise, but he still went 2 for 8 from 3. Still not anything crazy.
9 free throws got him 9 points.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
there.
So it's like, at least he was getting to the rim. I'll give him that. And also that's end of game scenario, stuff like that. But yeah, really bad. 20 turnovers. That's bad no matter who you play. But when you're playing against a school that you realistically should be like, you're like, yes, it's D1, D2, whatever, and you can say it's 1, but that's like really like probably 5 degrees of separation. 5 degrees separation in talent with how good the American's supposed to be and how good you're supposed to be playing in the American, but only a 1-point win against they didn't even look that good. Elizabeth City State didn't even look that good. We just looked really, really bad. So,
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I really can't say it much better. It's just straight up disappointing. I think the post RJ Felton era is really catching up to Mike Schwartz and the guys. There's not really a guy that we can go out there and depend on. I think Jordan Riley is a great second option. I think Big Gio is great in the paint, and he is utterly dominant. He's a walking 20-point double-double. But we just don't have a guy right now, and our guard play is terrible. I think Kalkner and Mbang, they combined for like 9 of the 20 turnovers and maybe scored 10 points together. So it's just disappointing. I had decently high hopes for this team this year, and it's pretty much went exactly backwards. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Jay Woodard. I think he only played like 11 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
I was really expecting him to, come in and see the ball in his hands a lot more this year. I know he's dealing with a little bit of an injury, so that might play a factor. But I would like to see him, come in and get more touches and honestly run the offense, because he showed us a little bit last year that he can come in and play that one spot and run the offense and then go down and guard, the 3 or the 4 on the other team. So I feel like that's a very special player that I would like to see more from. But yeah, got to turn it around. The turnovers is absolutely abysmal. 15% from 3, I think, is just gut-wrenching. Like, get it together, guys.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, too, is I think, you're never supposed to look down on an opponent, but we are playing a D2 school. I don't know why Jordan Riley didn't play in the game, but are we mad he didn't? Because I'm not. I think, yeah, we probably would have won by a few more points, but, like, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? It's like you said, a win's a win.
Yeah.
If we're only going to be a D2 school by that much anyways, I'd rather just do that than win by like 10. Because you're still going to be annoyed either way. Like, it's like, if you didn't have Jordan Riley, like, you win by 2 and 1, that's what happened. All the hypothetical situations that we especially go through as fans and guys who talk about the team on a week-to-week basis. But sometimes a day-to-day basis, especially with me and you on the radio. But, so it's gonna be tough, and I talked about it last time. Jordan Riley is like, he's a good player, and you said like second option, but the difference is between like him and RJ. RJ was a guy who was hunting for shots. He was hunting for him. Jordan Riley's gonna take what's given to him, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it is good, but that's not what we need from him. We need him to get the ball, shoot 15, 20 times a game. We need that, because without that, what are we gonna do? Because it's Big Gio and Jordan Riley right now, and Woodard, yes, I think can make a step forward this year, but he's not a scorer. Like, he's a passer, defender, sets things up for you. Is 6'7", so it gives you someone who's like a point guard out there who it's like, oh wow, he's crazy to like guard him and look at and that type of thing. But it's gonna be tough. I mean, and I think they knew playing UNCW tomorrow night. We're recording this on Monday. Playing them, that's gonna be a tough game no matter what. Like, I don't think we're winning that game. I think we're losing by 20. If Jordan Riley plays in that game, maybe he is dealing with an injury or something like that against Elizabeth City State. You don't want to rush him back. So wait to play UNCW. It's a rivalry game. It really is, especially in basketball. So going down there, at least you have Riley back, and Woodard probably would start if I had to assume. I think it's like you said, like the injury, another guy who's no need to rush him back. Both those guys are going to play over 25 minutes. Riley probably 35 minutes. And getting a different look out there, because, I mean, besides the first game, we haven't gotten different looks. We need to see Woodard go out there and have a guy like Mbang and Bailey, who are good players, but they're not starting caliber players. Like, they need to be coming off the bench and igniting something in us. Kind of the same thing with Calker, but at least Calker gets pressure taken off of them. For all three of the guys, really, they get pressure taken off with Woodard and Jordan Riley playing.
Yeah, 100%. Now you alluded to exactly what I was going to talk about when he brought up Woodard there. Is I was also not mad at us not playing Woodard that much for the same reason why we didn't play Jordan Riley. When you're looking at Elizabeth City, I mean, you think, okay, we shouldn't need him in order to win this game. You shouldn't. And the fact that he even had to come in the second half was a little annoying to even see him on the court, because you could tell he was still banged up in his playing time. He came in because he knew the team needed him, and like we were struggling. We might not have even won that game if we didn't even get the 10 minutes out of J. Shane Woodard in that game. So the fact that we even got those 10 minutes out of him really speaks a lot to the fact that how badly we need him to come back and play for this team, especially if we're going to play against UNCW. Now, once again, UNCW, hopefully we're going to see both Jordan Riley and Woodard back for this game. We don't really know right now. By the time you're seeing this, you will know if they've played or not. We don't know this at the very moment, but you're right. We're going to need that against UNCW. UNCW is a pretty solid opponent, and we're going to need them very badly because we saw how badly we struggled without them. And then, like I said, with LeBeau out for the rest of the year. One thing I also want to say, Delirier, we need a little bit more. I mean, 0 for 5 was really that's very, very bad. I mean, we need a little bit more out of that, especially out of somebody who's in our starting lineup. We're going to need you to play a little bit better than that. I can understand having a bad game. It's okay if you have a bad game, but we need to fix this. I mean, 0 for 5, that's a pretty bad stat. We need no points on the board. That's why you saw him on the bench more in the second half after that, because it's tough to win games like that. I mean, the field goal percentage was not good. The 3-point percentage was abysmal. I don't even know why we're even really hunting the threes at this point. I mean, if it's open, maybe take it. But
if it's like under 7 on the shot clock.
Yeah, if it's under 7 on the shot clock, take it. I mean, I wouldn't even look for it, to be honest with you. Let's try and drive to the rim. That's the only thing we're really good at right now. So yeah.
And you got 3 quality bigs in Case and Delorier and Big Gio. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Big Gio, I mean, you guys shouted him out perfectly. I don't feel the need to shout him out too much, but I will say Big Gio with a double-double. He was our saving grace against Elizabeth City. I mean, we wouldn't have won that game without him. And God forbid, if we lose Big Gio, I don't know if we win a game. I'm not going to lie. He means that much to this team right now. I mean, he's dominant whenever he's on the floor, and you can tell he wants to win, and he is our most dominant player right now, outside of Jordan Riley, which hopefully we can get him back very soon. Like I said, the men's team will play tomorrow at UNCW. You guys will know what happens in that one before we do. And then Friday versus Charleston Southern, we will play them in men's basketball. Gentlemen, I told you we'd come back to it. The Pirates will play at UTSA in football. We opened as a 3.5-point favorite. That has now moved to 2.5-point favorites. ESPN projects us to win by a 62.8% chance here. But I will say, Cannon, you alluded to this earlier. In the Jeff Traylor era, they are 32-4 at home and undefeated against conference opponents. This is not going to be an easy win by any means necessary, and they've even beaten some quality conference opponents because they just beat Tulane at home. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this game?
It's a trap game of all trap games. It really is. Because you go into this game with huge conference championship aspirations on the line. You're looking at the Temple Owls, and your Temple Owls are our best friend right now. They play Tulane at about the same time as we kick off. We'll be probably on our first offensive drive while Tulane and Temple are kicking off on Saturday. It's a tough one. I'll just say that. I mean, Nick said it best with the UTSA record and all that at home. Now, they've been better in years past, the last few years, especially in the Traylor era, and that's why they have been undefeated at home. because of how good they have been. But this year, I mean, they're still solid. They're 5-5 overall, 3-3 in conference. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're 3-0 at home and 0-3 away. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's something like that. So yeah, it's really like, I mean, I'm scared. I'll just say that. I had talked about it last week. I was a little bit more scared for the UTSA game than I was for the Memphis game. Because the Memphis game, senior day, all that, you're playing Memphis. You can see how much the city, the athletics department is investing so much into this game. And we come out with a win. It kind of sets up to almost be a letdown game against UTSA. I think we're good enough, and Coach Harrell is so, locked in that he is going to get these guys ready to play on Saturday and not think about all the other things that are on the line. It really is. I mean, it's like Caleb said, us beating Memphis was the difference between us having a good season and a great season. If we lose to UTSA, we might drop down back to a good season because we should beat the Roadrunners, even on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sticky game. I think that us as fans, we all have massive confidence in this team. I think the players have put together a resume and a season that builds massive confidence in themselves. And I think the coaching staff has immense confidence in this team as well. It would suck for us to lose. Like Cannon said, it would make us go back down to having a good season and not a great one. But I have all confidence in this team. I think we can get it done. I think the players think they can get it done, and I think the coaches think they can get it done. And I think an environment like that is where great teams thrive.
Yeah, guys. I mean, Cannon, you said it great. Caleb, you also said it great. I'm nervous for this one. I mean, the more and more I look at this one, the more and more I'm scared. Undefeated in conference play. There's nothing more I want than this. This is a great time for this to be the first one, but it's definitely Jeff Traylor's a phenomenal head coach. You can tell he has a lot of pride in playing in front of his home crowd, and you can tell that there's a lot that means to him in order for them to have this dominant stats at home. Owen McCown's a solid quarterback. Robert Henry Jr. is a phenomenal running back, one of the best in the conference. And it really does come down to, we've got to play our A game. Do we have the more talented roster? I think everybody would agree, yes, we have the more talented roster. And if this game was being played in Dowdy-Ficklen or a neutral site, there's no question in my mind I think the Pirates are going to run away with this one. It's the fact of how dominant they've been at home that scares me quite a bit. This is a big trap game for the Pirates, especially after the emotions of that last one. Everybody's going to come in there with high emotions right now. Obviously, it's a very emotional game for everybody involved. And there's nothing that Jeff Traylor wants more than to put an end to this season for the Pirates. He didn't end Tulane's season, but he did put a big damper in his. Now Tulane needs some help if they're going to make the American Championship. So he would love to do the same thing to us, and it would end our conference championship hopes if they gave us a beat on Saturday. But, gentlemen, that being said, what are your score predictions for this game?
I mean, I'm not picking against Pirates. Obviously, as much as we talked about, it's going to be a tough one. We said trap game. You can say trap game, but last time we talked about the trap game, we won 45-14.
True.
So you got to keep that in mind. But I think this game is a little bit different of a trap game because of the undefeated record at home, and all that's up in the air. Because I don't know if Nick wanted to talk about it, but there's still a chance of even the Pirates hosting a conference championship.
Oh, yeah.
Now I don't think that's going to happen. A couple things have to happen, but they're really tough ones. But obviously, us making the conference championship is the bigger thing on the line. So, and you talk about all the scenarios that have to happen, but the one thing that's most important, you got to win out. The Pirates are winning this game. I'm taking the Pirates 38-24.
Yeah, I've got the Pirates 42-28. We're getting it done. Big win on the road. Let's close this season out.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I completely forgot about the conference championship scenarios that we were supposed to talk about that. I'll briefly kind of run through it real fast. Basically, long story short, we need 2 of the 3 teams that are currently ranked ahead of us to lose one game. We currently, the tiebreakers, the way they stand right now, we need 2 of them to lose one game. And I'm pretty sure if we are tied with Navy at the end, we would get a tiebreaker over them if it's just us 2. With it being a 4-way tie, I don't know how that works right now, but I'm pretty sure if it's just us two, I don't know.
Well, you're making it confusing right now. You're
Okay,
making it
well,
confusing.
no matter
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, okay.
You're
You're
better explaining this. And I know what I'm talking about. You're better
No,
explaining
I know you
this.
know what you mean, but you're just saying it
Yeah,
in
go
all
ahead.
the
You
wrong
got
terms.
it.
Basically, right now, the Pirates, Navy, South Florida, North Texas, all tied in conference. Navy has one more win just because they've had one more conference game played. They only have one more conference game, and that is against Memphis on Thanksgiving Day. We need them to lose.
They play Army too, don't they?
That doesn't count.
Yeah,
as
but that won't
game.
count. Yeah.
Really?
They play that after the conference championship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that game does not count for the terms of the conference. Tulane, they play Temple, and that is on Saturday, and that's what I was talking about. And then they play Charlotte, which, who cares? And they play them next Saturday. North Texas, they play Rice this weekend and Temple the week after that. So obviously we're asking for a lot here because they're not playing top-tier American opponents. But if we're talking about us making it, Nick said it. You said it good. 2 of those 3 teams will lose a game. 2 of those 3 to lose. Now, for what I want to say is, from what I know and from what I've seen, ECU is above Navy in the tiebreaker. So, even if Navy happens to win against Memphis, we are above them. But the main thing here, I want to say, if Tulane and North Texas lose a game, ECU will be hosting the conference championship.
Yes, if we are correct in that, and we are above Navy, yes, we would host the conference championship back in Daddy Ficklin. We'll be back. You need to get the goalpost back in there. Get a new one ordered, because we'd be back in Daddy Ficklin Stadium, and that's been awesome to see. We talk about UTSA, their home record. We talk about Owen McCown, how good of a quarterback he's been for UTSA over these past few years. Robert Henry Jr. having an absolutely dominant year as he's only 17 yards away from 1,000 rushing yards. He averages 7.1 yards per carry, which is very, very dominant in a running back. You love to see it. But I tell you what, boys, we talk about Caden Hauser. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the American Conference right now.
In the nation.
In the nation. We're not even just in the American Conference. We're talking about him in the nation. We're talking about London Montgomery, who's been on a super hot streak right now. We're talking about Blake Harrell, who's one of the best coaches in the American Conference, and I would argue deserves a contract extension immediately. Blake Harrell in the post-game press conference said that he was going to take his shirt off for the Pirates because that's how much he riled up. Gentlemen, I tell you what. Give me the Pirates. Charge off. Give me the Pirates to take care of business against UTSA on the road. Give them their first conference loss at home. Give it to me, baby. I did not tell them I was going to do this. Give it to me, baby. Give me the Pirates to win. I'm going to say 35-28. Give me the Pirates. Pirates all day. $5 million. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any final comments?
Just end it, please.
That being said, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of TECSpertZ. We'll be back again with you guys next week for next week's episode of TECSpertZ. Until next time, go Pirates.